Hey, yo, welcome back to AIW's The Card is Going to Change. My name is Ronald Two Legs, and as always, I am joined by Absolute Intense Wrestling owner, John Thorne. What's up, Thorne?
Yo. We were supposed to do this last week and it didn't happen. We're going to get better.
Dude.
We're going to get better.
As soon as it gets cold and I'm not allowed to leave, we're not allowed, but once I stop leaving my house in the winter when it gets cold, we'll be able to podcast. But I am on a crazy work schedule right now, so I'm doing a bad job. I understand. I'm not trying to skip blame. I'm just telling you why. I work a lot. I just got home from work right now. It's almost 10 o'clock right now.
I'm usually going to bed right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, you usually get up really early too. So.
Sacrifice.
You know, we had to get one on, though. It is the hard sell week. You know, we got a big show coming up. AIW's longest running show, right? Hell on Earth.
Yes.
Is this Black Friday Hell on Earth? This is the 20th one.
Longest annual event. Just kind of worked out that way. And I believe it is the only, we didn't end up skipping that during the pandemic because... maybe we skipped a year. I can't.
That one got one skip during the heart of it when everything was shut down. But we got the first one right before everything shut down in February. And then, by the time it came back to Thanksgiving and having Hell on Earth, wasn't it one of the first ones we had back where we had very limited seating available and you had to wear a mask and everything and show your
I don't know.
thing?
Now I feel like maybe we things didn't really reset till 2021, I think, at this point. So maybe we did skip. We did skip a year. I don't know.
We skipped almost 2 full calendar years, but I'm telling you, the way that it worked out, we did Hell on Earth, like you said, in November.
Hell on Earth is what we came back with at the first full capacity show.
Yeah. So it was like we skipped one, but everything got skipped. The whole calendar got skipped at the one portion. I
just hope we didn't misnumber it. I hope it's not really 19.
No, because I always remember Hell on Earth was 2 ahead of everything, and then it was 1, and then I think it was 2. Now it's 2 ahead because of COVID, because some stuff didn't go for the 2 years or whatever. But we've talked about this before. I'm pretty sure it's right.
Well,
I mean, oh well, right?
we're not. I guess at this point.
When we're coming up on 300 here pretty soon too, and we've never really discussed that. We did, our 200th show, last was in 2023, right?
No, 200. 200 was 200 was a long time ago. It was
2022.
No, wait, it's before the pandemic. It happened.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, it's. I mean, that show was. I'll see if I can find it.
Yeah, I should have had Cage Match pulled up here, but yeah. But anyways, longest, whatever the number is, it is the longest running event as far as that goes. That one has been done the most times in Absolute Intense Wrestling. That I do know for sure. We gotta, whenever you finish that the studio thing we were talking about. We got to get Wadsworth on a hotline, a fast line, just hit a button and he's I guess that would time to us. Yeah. It just means waiting.
Phone a friend, Wadsworth.
Yeah, we should just, but right before we start potting, we should hit him up. Be just keep your phone by you for a minute in case we need to fire off a question to you.
Yeah, my memory is getting so bad, but I think AW 200 was November 2nd, 2019.
2019, damn, okay.
Yeah.
Man.
So it took a little while to get another 100 out. And it really depends on how it really depends on how you count it. It's debate. Everybody counts a little differently. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think anybody counts Go for Broke. You know what I mean? Even though there's 10 of those. But
yeah, right. Wheeler Yuta on this card.
I don't know.
Hell yeah.
Some people count all the North Canton sessions. Some people just count it as one. Same thing with the brewery thing that we did in Columbus, where it was multiple sessions.
Yeah.
I mean, it really depends on how, you know what I mean, like how you count it. But I guess if you just go for a day, I believe, if you just went per day, don't count, go for broke, the 300th show is probably Cultivate. A lot of people have landed on thinking the 300th show is going to be Cultivate, or it could have been initially the 1227 show until we added Cultivate. But again, if you count it a different way, we're well beyond 300. You know what I mean? Like Cage Match has 321.
Yeah.
So like,
yeah, but those are all listed individually, like you're saying too. So I mean,
right. It really all depends on on how you count it. And then like, I was just like thinking about it, like, should we do a big thing? Shouldn't we do a big thing? And then like, it really like sounds less impressive when it's like it's taken us since 2019 to do 100 shows. I think, I don't know. You know what I mean?
I mean, I would be curious to see, what the progress was from 0 to 100 and then 100 to 200, 200 to 300 and see where you land. Because I don't, I mean, it's nothing to sneeze at. I don't know. We were running, I mean, if you think about it, 2023, we were doing a lot of shows. 2023 had a lot of shows on that calendar.
Yeah. I mean,
so it's not like you can even say, oh, we haven't been running that maybe. Because, I mean, 2023, we were red hot weekends.
Yeah, I don't know. And there was obviously a pandemic dead smack in the middle of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Like it's strange, I guess, to think I've done this for 300. It feels like I've done it for 3,000 years at this point.
It's crazy to think about that long, and we'd still come up with just the wildest shit. Day of, something wild will happen, and be like, wow, well that's never happened before. I mean, if we were not ready for that.
So I'm looking at Cage Match right now, and there are 19 other installments of Hell on Earth. So
yep.
The only year Hell on Earth missed was 2020.
There you go. That's what I was saying. I think it was right in the middle of when the pandemic was.
So we do November 29th, 2019.
Mm-hmm.
That's 15, and then we come back at November 26th, 2021 with 16, and then 17, 18, 19, and this will be 20. Crazy.
Hell yeah.
First one at the beach.
20 of
First one at the Beachland Ballroom.
Oh yeah! Wow, what an event! Holy shit!
Our only show at the Beachland Ballroom for some reason. But yeah, Hell on Earth 1, originally at the Beachland Ballroom.
I'm gonna look at this card here and see if we have anybody.
You're talking to the main eventer right now on this podcast.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna see you in the ring though. Not after the stitch job.
After the super glue job, no.
It's super well, yeah.
My arm looks disgusting to this day. It's like, it's doing this thing where it's like, it's just like, I don't know. It's like crusty, dry skin where the scars are. So it's just like, it's just like this white, like, I don't know, this like white crust is. I'm like,
you can't even describe it. You're like, oh.
Yeah, it's still there. It's just like, but it's like puffy. So it's like raised off my skin, but it's like had this white crust around. I don't know. It's still all fucked up.
Oh God!
I should have not done that.
Those are some good photos though of you about to eat it when that happens. Because I think that's when it happened, when you take the curb stomp into them. Obviously, I think that's.
Yeah, I have no idea when it happened, but shouldn't have did it. And I just want to say that for all those fucking people in those meetings that say I should wrestle, and I say no. I was right.
Listen, right. We don't say you have to take curb stomps into bundles of light tubes. I want you to wrestle all the time, but I'm not saying...
I'm not going to fucking chain wrestle. Like what? What?
Oh, fuck.
Shit only pops the boys, dude. I'm trying to pop the fans.
I got you. You're not wrong. That's why you're my favorite wrestler, dude. That's good.
That's
good
it.
stuff.
It's over. It's probably long over at this point after that.
At least I can say I got to see the last one,
Yeah, I mean, you know,
It's a good one too.
bleeding for a week was like not anything I expected was possible. And it's still like to this day, like weird, you know.
You were given updates. You'd be like, "Yeah, it's Wednesday, still bleeding, almost a full week now, still bleeding."
Yeah, but I mean, I didn't want to go to emergency
It
room.
was gross. Yeah,
I don't want to go.
That's
to
never
emergency
fun.
room. Let's see some interesting.
So
facts
okay,
here. Go ahead.
they're all Black Friday, but
No,
it's
they're not
funny
all
because
Black.
Thanksgiving.
They're not all Black Friday. This one.
So I was gonna say, is Thanksgiving's the 26th every year, right? There's a handful that are not.
No. Thanksgiving. Come on.
It's the last Thursday, isn't it?
You go to school.
Isn't it the last Thursday of November,
Didn't they
right?
teach you the calendar at school? It's the last Thursday in November, which is a different day every year.
Yeah, right. So it's a different day. But you think I remember 90% of what I learned in high school?
The first one was Hell on Earth 4 Black Friday, and I think from that moment on, they were all Black Friday since Hell on Earth 4.
Okay, because I was going to say the way it's labeled here, that was going to be my question. Was it when did it start on Black Friday? Because I knew that they were all different days. I saw that, but 3 and 4 are both on the 28th. So I'm like, well, that can't be the same. You know what I mean? It couldn't have been the same day. So
Well, yeah, but that's October 28th, Hell on Earth 3.
oh, okay. See, I didn't even realize that. I just saw the 28, and then saw the different years and went, well, shit, it had to have been one day off or something. I wondered if maybe it was like the building wasn't. I didn't know, but so Black Friday, the tradition started on Hell on Earth 4. Let's look at that card. Let's see who's on that bad boy. Fontaine is on like all of these, dude. It's great.
There's some interesting names on there.
Shima Zion.
Hey, wait till you scroll down to the end there. Semi-main is big time.
Oh yeah, that singles match. Yeah, that's. I think we've discussed that on this show before.
Drake Younger versus the Necro Butcher. Pre-MAGA Butcher.
Defeats Necro Butcher too, so Drake Younger going over. But yeah, that's an interesting card, that one for sure. Some of these names I've never heard before.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that you wouldn't have.
You've done this for 20. Is there any that you could say without having to really dig deep, like, oh, this was a year that I just know that? Because I mean, it was funny, we were talking in the group chat earlier, and you're like, man, this card is all bangers like this. And what I was gonna kind of say is like, this one is some heavy hitters. I saw a internet memory thing like on my phone showing Hell on Earth 16 the other day, and that was a banger ass card. Like, are there any that just stick out in your mind that you can think of that where you were like, no, that was a fucking card? See, it wasn't even 16. It was the one with Jimmy, with what's his name? Jimmy Jacobs and Eddie Kingston and Gage.
Maybe 14.
Yeah, this is the one. So Hell on Earth 14, that was the one that's the one that La Parka tried to kill me. Ellie Park threw the ring bell at my head and literally tried to murder me because I was rooting for Gage. Remember that? Like, full on whipped it at me when I wasn't even really paying attention.
And we had to. This one I booked Swoggle the morning of because Tracy Smothers canceled because MJF I think called him old in a promo and he got offended.
I remember that because I remember hearing that. But yeah, MJF defeats Swoggle by DQ. I mean, there's some good. I mean, this is a good Danhausen on this one. The Jollyville Fuckets, haven't seen them in a long time. KTB, remember freaking KTB? Where's that guy been?
He's been fishing.
Yeah, no shit, right?
He posts all these photos fishing on Facebook. You got KTB on Facebook?
No, and I don't have Facebook at all. It still exists. Like, I still have it on. I have to go on like a laptop, though. I got rid of it off my phone, so I don't really just ever go on it much, really. Hot Sauce Tracy Williams versus Eddie Kingston. That's a banger match. Justice versus Don's title change. I mean, that was a card. I remember too. Jimmy Lloyd was just wandering around the crowd. He must have rode in with somebody, Gage or something. You know, and I just remember being like, "Oh, that's fucking Jimmy Lloyd just walking around." Mount Carmel was the best. God damn it, I missed those shows.
That was a weird time because, that's when, like, I feel like the business has changed post-COVID a little bit, but, like, pre-COVID, like, you would just have people that were just hopping in cars with people going to shows like that. You don't really see a lot of that anymore. Like, it's not like it's a different time. So I'm trying to think of some things. So, like, Hell on Earth 1, I know I told this story on podcast before, but it was originally supposed to be a show called Devil's Night, and it was going to be at Peabody's on October 30th. And there was never going to be, like, a Hell on Earth. Like, there was no plan for a show called Hell on Earth. It was going to be Devil's Night, October 30th at Peabody's. However, in August of that year, we booked the Rude Boy, who was like a tag-along ICP guy at the time, did JCW, was like super associated with ICP, and in an attempt to try to like get ICP to come to AIW and wrestle, somehow we land with this guy. And at this time, there's way more people, kind of cooks in the kitchen of AIW. So I was not one that thought that the Rude Boy was going to lead us to the promised land of the clowns. However,
he eventually got there.
I was told, like, I was wrong and blah, blah, blah. And, we're running this music club, and, somebody called somebody, like, he must have worked in the office or something at Psychopathic at the time. I don't really know how we arrive at this. But I know it was through an attempt to book ICP.
Okay.
In that match, he came in and wrestled in August. He like gigs like uncontrollably in like fights behind the bar and gets blood all over the liquor bottles and stuff. And
I remember this now. Yeah.
And it was also just the stupidity of the time. It was the same day as SummerSlam, where Hulk Hogan was going to wrestle Shawn Michaels. It was on a Sunday.
Oh, Jesus.
So, like, just terrible. And then he, like, proceeded to, like, fake a heart attack in the ring. And then, like, an ambulance was called, and, like, all of these paramedics and stuff are there. And, like,
Jesus Christ.
Then, like, liquor, they're inspecting the liquor, you know what I mean? Like, then the liquor board gets involved and stuff, so all this stuff happens, and then, like, he says he's faking it, and, like, he's made himself puke all over the ring and shit. Like, it was terrible. Jesus. And then Peabody's was just like, you guys are fucking out of here, like, this is, you guys, I cannot come back here. Like, they got hit with, like, from the liquor board and, like, all this crazy, they had to, like, throw out all of this liquor, all these liquor bottles. Like, there was vomit all over the place. Like, it was Jesus. Terrible. So the October 30th event, Devil's Night, was canceled. And, like, it was just like, that's it. From there, we landed at the Beachland Ballroom as like as a replacement venue, but they didn't have October 30th available, so we landed on November 13th, and like, we didn't know what to name the show now because it wasn't going to happen on Devil's Night. And I said this before, but, like, I had, like, remember the TV Guide channel, the preview channel, just scrolling or whatever.
Yeah.
And, like, Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth, came across the screen, and I was just like, hey, everybody, let's just call the show Hell on Earth. It still has, like, a Halloween type name, even though we're a few weeks late, and nobody said otherwise. And, like, it was never planned to be, like, an annual thing,
Yeah.
And then from there, like, it was just like next October, we're just like, oh, let's just call it Hell on Earth 2, like,
yeah,
it kind of went from there. I do remember, like, this is like odd for the time, but I do remember this is right before CM Punk got signed to WWE, and we were trying to book him through Josh Prohibition on this. And then there was also Josh Prohibition was pushing, which we could not afford at the time, or even begin to think of a flight, was really pushing for us to book Super Dragon on this show.
Oh,
but like,
damn.
You know, that is a memory that is in my head from the first Hell on Earth, and then we end up booking nobody, no names or anything on the show. It just doesn't, it doesn't come together.
Whoa. You trying to say that Beef Stew Lou Marconi is not a name, or the Thrill Billy not a name, brother? What the hell?
It's the absolute title match, buddy.
Yeah, I was just going to say title change on that one. I mean, you got guys that will be names. Obviously, Josh Prohibition's there, Ray Rose there, M-Dog on there, Vincent Nothing, and these are people that would be named, obviously. JT Lightning on the card.
Marion Fontaine's debut, I believe, in AIW.
Yeah.
Was on this show.
Yeah, Starless, Jason Thunder, Kano, and Marion Fontaine, 4-way.
Yeah, and I went on to be the best man in the Thoroughblaze wedding, I'll have you know.
Hell yeah. I mean, I wasn't throwing shade. I'm saying these are names I've been hearing about forever. What do you mean?
Stu Lou Marconi is my trainer.
That's your trainer, right? That's what I was going to say. Like, what the fuck, dude? Yeah.
Who was the champion because he got a belt made, and he said it was going to be for the company, and then it didn't have AIW on it. It just said it was just a generic championship belt, and when he lost it, that belt went home with him. So
that's so funny.
We had to get a replica title for a while.
Who beat him? Do you remember? Kind of off the top of your head, you have any idea who got him?
Nothing. Beats him.
Nice.
Night of Mystery in February of the next year, and then
that's funny. What a fucking steel trap! Look at you, dude. I mean, that's how. I mean, how long ago? And you're just like you didn't even. There was no question. You knew right away.
The old stuff I can remember pretty vividly. But once you get going, you know what I mean? Then it's like, then it's where it blends together. There's far more alcohol involved. And, it's just less shots to the head, more shots to the head. And it gets a little weary. But like those first couple of years, I can remember pretty well. And then Hell on Earth 2, I got so mad I refused to wrestle because I was mad at my tag team partner, and the Butcher had to stand in for me because everyone was just this is a tumultuous time in the early days of AIW, this show I recall. And
so you didn't want to compete in a four corners buried treasure match?
Nope. It ended up not. I ended up saying, all right, fuck it, you guys do it without me then.
Who's the Butcher?
Jerry the Butcher? He's the garbage man in the city of Brooklyn right now.
I don't know that name. That's a name.
He's an old school brother that used to be a backyarder with Vincent Nothing back in the day, and then he trained for a while, and then kind of came back as the Butcher, which was his I don't know. It's hard to explain. You'd have to see it. But,
gotcha. Some interesting tag team names in this match. I won't say them out loud, but
the Virgin Slayers.
I'll let you do it. That's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. There's
low key on this freaking card, dude. Low key versus Sanjay. Yeah.
The show didn't draw too well either, which was also what led to a lot of emotions running high.
Sure,
because
I'm sure
there's people trying to tell me what I should and shouldn't be doing in a wrestling match, and I'm like, I'm fucking paying for it. Fuck off.
Yeah.
And then by Hell on Earth 3, the company has completely split in half, and this is where it becomes just kind of me and Chandler, and
okay,
a lot of those other people go other places, and we got to start over. And this show was a big momentum shifter for us at the time. Hell on Earth 3 because we had kind of split away into, two companies kind of formed out of this split. AIW kept going, and then another company, started up with a lot of just AIW people from the first 2 years of the company. And we came back with a show, and it did not draw well at all. And it had a lot of names on it in September of that year. And then, we were like, we have to do something different. So I offered myself up to do a death match against Necro Butcher and Drake Younger, and they just
they ran it back and added you in a fans bring the weapons 3-way.
No, they didn't run it back. This is before that. This is before.
Oh, that was before? Okay, my apologies.
Yeah,
okay.
This is the year before. So it was a fans bring the weapons, and I just offered my body up to get absolutely fucking destroyed by these guys who were friends.
Yeah, I've heard this story before.
Who were friends and knew each other and worked with each other and respected each other and did not respect or know me. And it was
they're like, we're just gonna take turns beating the fuck out of this kid.
It was a tough 15 minutes. But
15:07. That's a tough 15, brother.
It's a tough 15, but from that moment on, that kind of like shifted our momentum a little bit, that we were willing to put something like that on. And those guys had like, it's really hard to explain, like 2007, 2008, pre-social media, pre-YouTube. These guys kind of had like these like underground cult-like followings. So for them to come to Cleveland for the first time and like do a match like this was pretty big deal. And then, we also were working closely with Bryce Remsburg, who was bringing us Chikara guys like Jigsaw's on the show, Fire Ants on the show.
I was just gonna say, there's some big names on here. First off, it says Bryce is on commentary with Wadsworth, which would be really. I'd love to hear that duo. But then, you got Fire Ant and Worker Ant. You got Tyler Black on there. You got Hollow Wicked on there. Jigsaw. Who else? Equinox, I'm sure, was probably in that car.
Sterling James Keenan. Equinox is
Sterling James Keegan. Yeah, that was the main event. I'm guessing the 2 out of 3 falls match. The fans bring the weapons the main event?
Fans bring the weapons was the main event.
Okay.
Just because we did a bunch of glass and shit.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean that's a card right there. I mean that's an incredible card, dude.
But
Justice versus Hollow Wicked. What a sick. We got to run that back, dude.
Look at that attendance, 160. That was a success in 2007, 160.
Yes, yeah, right there, 160.
That was like a resounding success.
Wow.
In 2007. I mean, sometimes in 2025, that's a success. But, tickets to get on the show were probably fucking like $7.
Man,
what
a card for $7.
It's probably like $7 or $10, like honestly. And then whoever was working the door was probably drunk and probably didn't charge half the people anyway. There's a lot of that. And those. Yeah, I'm working the door. Hey, there's nobody at the door. Oh fuck, sorry, I was getting a drink.
Whoops.
Yeah, it's amazing that we've made it this long. To be honest, when you look back in some of these memories. But yeah, then we did Black Friday, and it kind of like hit me. I was just, nothing happens on Black Friday. That one did very well. So we started doing Black Friday, going forward, and it worked. It's worked for the most part, since 2008. We haven't had too many bombs on Black Friday, so I hope Friday stays the same, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, can you think of any of these 20, like one that stands out that's your favorite any more than any others at all, or is it hard with 20?
It's hard. I mean, like I said, it's hard. Like once you get past those like first 4 or 5 years, it really it really kind of starts blending together, but there's been some crazy shit, Hell on Earth 5, Madman Pondo versus Sterling James Keenan. There's a crazy Necro Butcher versus Chris Dickinson thing. It became a thing where Necro Butcher did a few in a row, like a few Hell on Earths in a row, and always had like a crazy, something crazy. I think Hell on Earth 6 had Masada on it.
Yeah, that was one I just saw. 12, Zack Sabre Jr. versus Dom on 12. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Gregory, Iron, and Masada as a tag team.
Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy. Casket match, Tommy Mercer versus Sterling James Keenan at 6.
Yeah, so shout out to Pedro. I checked, it was when I got the message to come on here through Facebook, so I had to sign on Facebook, but I just saw that he posted that it's the same casket from Hell on Earth 6, I believe he said was the
It's
number.
the same casket from Hell on Earth 1. That's been
1. Oh, I'm sorry.
That was also used at Hell on Earth 6.
Okay, maybe somebody commented about 6, then it got like halfway broken or something like that. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I remember seeing
broken. It's been broken a few times, but this casket was built by Chris and Danny Sanka in 2005.
Hell yeah!
And
shouts out to the Sankas, dude. The whole family.
There's Bud Light beer cans like built into it. Some they were drinking and building this thing, and they were throwing their beer cans in there, and as they put as they put it together, like the beer cans are entombed inside the casket, so you could never get to them. That was like their little Easter egg to themselves. Is there's a bunch of old
That's incredible.
There's a bunch of old beer cans in there, but yeah, it's the same. It's the same one that they built in 2005.
Can you hear him rattling around in there?
He used to be able to they used to be crunching around in there.
Yeah, that's so funny, dude.
But it's had a few different lids for sure. But it's the same bones of the casket from 2005.
Yeah, hell yeah. That rocks. I don't even know what I could say. I feel like every year I don't even know. I couldn't even say. I've been coming since 2016, so I got 13 on. I don't think I was at 12. I think I missed 1 or 2 shows in between. I started coming in 2016, but I didn't start coming to every one until 17, I think. So, yeah, from 13 to now, I don't even know how I could pick one. I don't know. There's been a lot of good ones.
Hell on Earth 9, Johnny Gargano versus Kevin Steen.
I was going to say there was somebody posted that photo maybe on that thing that I was talking about on Pedro's Facebook of a picture of them two in the casket. Yeah, Steen and Gargano.
Yeah, they filmed these crazy promos inside the casket because it was in the basement at Turner's Hall. Alex Shelley versus Josh Prohibition, Hell on Earth 10. There's just Chris Sabin versus Eric Ryan as a match. I have no memory that ever happened. That happened at Hell on Earth 10.
Donst versus Chris Hero on 11. That's sick.
Eddie Kingston, Ethan Page, dog collar match from Hell on Earth 10 was very, very good. There's a lot of good stuff hidden, throughout these Hell on Earth cards.
Ethan Page becomes absolute champion at Hell on Earth 11 there. That's cool.
Yeah.
That guy rules. He's been
Nick
killing
Gage,
it lately. Love to see it.
Warner.
Oh, that was a good one. That was a fucking good one. Ooh, remember 15? Remember 15 was at Brook Park Rec. That was a great friggin' show. That had a lot of good shit. We had Kevin Nash on that one as the meet and greet. That was
right.
A great
Alex
one.
Shelley versus Eric Stevens.
Yeah, dude, that's a good friggin' match.
Yeah, there's just
Cage versus Mance, like you just said.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff if you get on Cage Match and kind of scroll through the results. Kaplan versus PCO. Matt Justice versus Psycho Clown. There's just
Yeah, that was a good match.
Isaiah Broner versus Weird Body in the pre-show.
He was so mad at me. That's good, dude. Yeah, that damn clown was so mad at me. Remember that? He called me a motherfucker in Spanish.
I was mad at him because he didn't get on his flight, and I had to buy a whole new flight that day. He said he's gonna send me his boots in the mail, and he never did. And now he's on WWE. They'd be worth a lot of money right now.
I don't know why he was fucking mad at me. He knows what his song sounds like. Fucking dick. But yeah, though, if you want to start getting into this card a little bit, this, again, as we were saying, kind of with the theme of what we were talking about, just some incredible stuff on these cards. We are going to start out with a free view. We've been running the free view, trying to get people hyped on the stream, putting some good matches out there to get people to sign up for this premium YouTube of ours. So if you haven't, if you're just listening to this and wondering how you can watch Hell on Earth 20, if you can't join us live at the Globe Iron, you can stream it on our YouTube. You join a premium service. You can subscribe. It's a little different than just subscribing to be, subscribing to the page. It's, obviously behind a paywall. If you have an Apple product, you got to use an actual browser. Was a holdup for a little while, but you can stream it live, and we do have a free view match that will start. Typically, we go around 7:05 in that kind of sweet spot there, give or take. I'm not promising nothing there, but we got Jocelyn Navarro taking on Nat Castle.
Depends on
Nat Castle
depends on how
returning
prepared
again.
Chase Oliver's going to be Friday. Are we going at 7:05? Are we going at 7:20? I don't know.
Yeah, yep. So, like I said, I'm not promising any time. It's right in that area. Just get close to the. Just tune in around 7, and you won't miss it.
He was real locked in after that return match. Now I haven't. He's gone missing again.
Hometown of Youngstown. There, we were close to his house. He made it on time. He was the shit. I think he beat me and you there.
Now he's gone missing. I said, "Hey, could I get this, and this?" Yeah. Nothing.
Shit.
So we'll see.
But yeah,
so right between 7 and 7:30, we'll call it.
Yeah, that's it. So show up at 7 and you won't miss it. There'll be nothing to worry about if you show up at 7. You could be early. That's fine. But yeah, we do have free views. Come early, check that out. I got the ladies match on there. I'm excited for this one. Nat Castle returned a handful of times now. Has shown, she's been great all the times we've had her. I'm excited to see her and Joss go 1-on-1.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, they certainly want to get in there as a singles. They kind of cross paths a little bit at Wrestle Rager, if you recall, and there was
that was a wild match.
Lots of blood and other things.
Juice in that match for sure.
I don't anticipate it's going to happen on the free view this Friday. I mean, don't quote me on that, but I would suspect that this is going to be more of a catch-as-catch-can pro wrestling match. But I could be wrong. Who knows? Maybe they're going to have light tubes. Who the fuck knows? I didn't know that they were going to do all that at Wrestle Rager. So, your guess is as good as mine as to what's going to happen this Friday. But I do think both of them want to get in there and test each other. As, Jocelyn is far more experienced, but, Nat Castle is, kind of in that, crazy competitive East Coast indie scene right now, so she's getting in there with a lot of top caliber talent, and she is learning and improving every single week. So it's a little tougher in the Midwest to get the reps that those workers on the East Coast get. You know what I mean? So who knows, where they're at as far as, who is more on top of their game right now. But I'm really excited because, as much as Jocelyn is a staple in AIW, she is still trying to make her name beyond that. And Nat Castle is kind of in the same boat. She is doing everything she can to make a name for herself, going everywhere and anywhere. We talked about it kind of a little earlier about how people just get in cars and show up and ride around and go to places. That's what Nat Castle's doing. She's kind of the last of a dying breed, perhaps, as far as the indie road warriors are concerned. She's getting out there, going everywhere and anywhere, which shows how hungry she is. So I don't think either of these girls are coming in and going, it's just the free view. You know what I mean? Like, I think they're coming. Yeah. They know it's gonna be free. They know it's gonna be streamed live on all the socials. They know hopefully there's gonna be a big crowd there on Friday. They want to do everything they can to make the most of the platform, because I do think being on the free view does have more value to wrestlers sometimes, because the rest of the card's going behind the paywall, and you never know who's signing up, who's not signing up to watch that. It's only $6.99 or whatever, but you just never know. So the free view's absolutely a great spot, and hopefully putting the women's match out there on the free view will get people engaged to then go and buy the stream.
I mean, honestly, I think people like doing the free view at AIW. I don't know how it is at other places or whatever, yada yada. But it's not like we throw the free view out there at 6:30. They wrestle for 10 minutes, and then there's an hour and a half. I mean, sometimes it's like 2 minutes before then we start the show, whatever regular wise. So it's basically just like the first match. It's not even like it's this. Some people do the free view or what, or pre-show match, whatever. It literally goes off. Like I said, we barely even have time in between that match and then the first match of the card, whatever, yada yada. So it's pretty much like the first match on the card. Most people like getting in there. You get to set the bar. People love getting in there. There's been plenty of freeview matches where like, holy shit, what did they just do out there? And you're like,
man almost died.
We saw. I was gonna say we saw a man get power bomb to the floor. So it's like you never know what you're gonna see on a freeview. And I think Joss and Nat are ready to step in there and go nuts.
I mean, internally we just consider it match one on the show. Yeah,
that's kind of what I mean. Like we go off at like 7:15. It's basically part of the show. I don't know.
It is. It's not like a dark. It's not like a dark match.
Right.
I don't know. It makes sense in my head. I don't know if it makes sense to the wrestlers. I don't know if it makes sense to the fans, but it makes sense in my head that it's really like match one, and it's really trying to just get get action out there, hook people in, and then hopefully get them to buy the stream or buy the month. You can't just buy the stream. You gotta sign up for the month for the AIW members YouTube. But that's the idea, and I know everyone's trying to why don't you just put it for free or this and that, and it's just like, I do want to put some value on these shows, right? I do think they're worth it, $6.99. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The people that are putting all these shows on YouTube, I understand that they are trying, they're doing it for eyes, but I don't know that those eyes turn into money that you can pay people with. You can't pay people with eyes, we need money to pay people. That's how it is. We don't have sponsors. We don't have any of that. We don't ask fans to sponsor. We don't do any of that stuff. So, I think $6.99 is a reasonable price to watch the show, especially the caliber of this show on Friday. It's I don't even know how I'm gonna order the show because every match is fucking good. It's not like, oh, I don't know, this one, we'll put this one on early. You know what I mean? I can justify everything on the show going on later. I cannot justify everything going on earlier. And that's what's going to make this such an interesting night Friday, because everything is going to be, hopefully, at least on paper, everything looks fucking really, really good.
Yeah, I mean, it's a perfect blend in my opinion. I mean, maybe not perfect blend. It's probably a little more outside name heavy than we typically go. But that's what I was going to say is there's almost every match has some outside name or some draw or something to it that you're like, oh shit. This card is so stacked. Talking about getting further into it, talking about return, somebody coming back, a name that people were very happy to see in AIW. We got Mad Dog Conley coming back, taking on Dom Guarini, the Bone Collector. This is gonna be a match here. I think there's not much you even need to say about these two psychopaths.
Yeah, I mean, it's no secret. We talked about it. If you listen to this podcast, JLit, especially JLit Session 1 was a major disappointment as far as draws. JLit Session 2 was a little bit better, but it was still a disappointment. Overall the day was disappointing, and I felt like this match that happened at JLit deserved to be seen by the masses of AIW fans, which is hopefully what's going to happen Friday. Hopefully we are going to have a packed place again. It's our first time, back in Cleveland, back at the Globe since July. So I hope that JLit was just the fluke that it's always been, for the last, however many years. And I hope there's a bunch of people there on Friday, because this match, what they did to each other in front of so little people at JLit Session 1 is criminal, honestly. Criminal.
Yeah, it was a banger.
Criminal that not more people were there to see it. So I just decided, I'm going to bet there's going to be more people here than J-Lit, and I'm going to give it the proper platform for them to do that all over again. That is their that's the instruction for Friday is do the J-Lit match all over again so people can fucking enjoy it.
Yeah. I was gonna say we know that it's gonna be a banger. So now with an even hotter crowd, an even bigger crowd behind it, and I mean obviously that's as you know that's a big part of wrestling. You could see this incredible match if there's 10 people there and no one gives a shit. It's much different when you're surrounded by 300, 400 people.
Right, and I mean that's the same reason why I also decided to bring Tyler Breeze back because he worked so fucking hard at J-Lit Session 1 and J-Lit Session 2, and the AIW fans deserve to see what that dude was fucking bringing to the table at J-Lit. Just like Mad Dog Conley, Tyler Breeze showed up to fucking work at J-Lit and he worked hard and he was great to deal with. And, I'm sure that there's plenty of people that want to meet him. You know what I mean? So it's just like,
sure.
Let's try it again. You know what I mean? Let's try it again.
He was just great too to have. I didn't spend a ton of time with him, but I saw him back there talking to a lot of people. You know what I mean, and giving people advice and talking to people and shit. And I mean that's a guy who's currently in the WWE system and has been there for a long time. You know what I mean? That's advice and shit like that. That's priceless in this kind of business when when some of these guys are newer in the business. You know what I mean? Listening to a guy like Breeze, I mean, shit, that guy was there forever.
I mean, I know.
You know what I mean? Still there.
I know he was there. I don't know. I don't know what his status is right now. You know what I mean?
He was on TV not less than a month ago or whatever is all I'm considering. You know what I mean? He was just there.
Right. So it's just like, you're right. Like that. And that's what sometimes fans, I don't think, realize. It's just like, oh, why do you have Swoggle back again? It's just like getting these types of people to sit our local crew down and give them feedback, give them that WWE secret sauce stuff that they need to have in the back of their head as performers is invaluable to have. They're invaluable assets to have behind the curtain, actually engage. And don't get me wrong, there's guys that you book and they don't give a shit and they want to leave before the fucking as soon as intermission's over. Breeze was a guy, like you said, he was back at the monitor watching every match, pulling guys aside, telling them to do this. The guys that he worked with, this is what you should have did. You could have did this better. This was good. As young wrestlers, especially on the independent scene in 2025, heading into 2026, a lot of independent wrestlers, in my opinion, are just flying blind, and they are just going and doing things that they think they should do because there's not a lot of veterans around anymore.
That's what you've said.
To guide people, to give feedback, to tell them this is right, this is wrong. So when you can get a guy that is, like you said, just freshly from WWE television, he was there for so many years, he went through the developmental system, he knows the likes, the dislikes, the bad habits, all that stuff. Putting that guy in a room full of young graduates of the AIW Academy is invaluable. And then now he's going to work with 3 people on Friday night, and they all 3 of them are going to get unique feedback and information that they can apply to hopefully continue to raise their stock and value. And everybody wants to, people can think what they think about WWE or AEW or whatever, but that's where a wrestler is going to make money. So that's the goal for all of these guys and girls, is to find a way to make money. And when you bring people like this that have had success and are willing, they're willing to give that information, it's invaluable.
Yeah, I mean, technically, in this one, it's 4 people, too, because, and 4 people that are at different stages in their wrestling career. In the match, we got Wes Barkley taking on Tyler Jordan with Nipsey Nash versus Alec Price versus Breeze. So, I mean, he's working with, Wes, Tyler, and Alec in that match, but he's also got Nipsey, Nipsey's coming out with Tyler, so I'm sure he'll have stuff
and whoever winds up reffing it, too.
Right, and the ref, who are, and all these people are at different stages stages. This guy, like you said, has been through all of them. He's been around for so long. So, and he was such a nice guy. I'm sure he's willing to work, and talk to all these guys. And that is, like you said, that's just invaluable stuff that it's like, Swoggle too, especially. I mean, that guy's been on, it's absolutely killing it lately, but he's one that's great for Swoggle. With him, I feel like there's no filter. He will tell you the good and the bad, which I think maybe some of these guys, some of them are maybe too nice. I don't know. Obviously not going to say anyone's names or blah, blah. I don't even know. They don't talk to me, but I think maybe some guys could probably be a little too nice, maybe not be as harsh as they can. Swoggle tells it exactly like it is, which I think people have to have. You have to have that.
Yeah, I agree. And like, like I said, it's invaluable to get these types of people in a locker room, and maybe it's the only time they're in a locker room with Tyler Breeze or Mike Santana or Tommy Dreamer, but like I assure you, like somebody is gonna leave Friday night who has graduated from the AW Academy with like something that is gonna help them elevate their careers. Like someone is gonna, like, it's inevitable. The odds are stacked in the favor for a lot of people to learn a lot of valuable information. And I just Paul London, another fucking wrestling genius.
Yep.
And I think sometimes the fans just look at it like, what name is on the show? Maybe I like him, maybe I don't like him. But like, there's like a method to the madness sometimes, most of the time. But like, there's also, a time where it's just like, okay, we want to bring Abdul the Butcher in because he's 80 something years old,
Yeah.
Not to say that
sometimes you got to know your market too, where you're at and what kind of a meet and greet,
Right. But I mean, it's all like at the end of the day, even the meet and greet is hopefully getting somebody to talk to these young wrestlers before the show, during the show, after the show. And like Wes is really good at it. If there's a legend over there, Wes is over there talking to him, Yep. And it's just like, that's really the point. So like sometimes like somebody go, I don't know if I want to go to that show. You know what I mean? Like, so-and-so I don't think is like that big of a name. And it's just like, sometimes it's about their like information that they can help the AW roster with. Does that make sense? I'm
a firm believer in that for sure.
I just don't know if the fans like see the full kind of like 360 view. Like when I book somebody, like, do they just look at it like, how much is the meet and greet going to cost? Or like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just, I wonder if the fans really understand that, like, we're trying to develop talent, like truly develop talent and make them better, because if they're better, the shows are going to be better for the AW fans, right? Like they're bound to improve. So we want to just keep raising the bar and raising their, the wrestling knowledge of the performers that are coming out of the AW Academy. So, this show has people like that all over it. I just said Paul London, another just fucking phenomenal. You wouldn't think, especially if you ever watch some Paul London promos or shoot interviews, but like a incredible just wrestling mind that some people maybe wouldn't suspect, but just another invaluable asset. And it's just like how much Shelby Wilder is learning by being able to team with them. They're going to wrestle PME. PME is always, looking for ways to improve themselves as a team. Paul London is a multiple-time WWE Tag Team Champion, I'm pretty sure. I know he's held them at least once, but I'm pretty sure it's multiple times. Just information, improving. That's why I kind of get frustrated when I look at some of the other shows locally, and it's just like nobody's getting better at shows throughout Ohio when it's student A versus student B, and they do 5 other shows throughout the state, but like it's all the same people. You know what I mean? Like it's just like I feel like you need to kind of like import some of these veterans, and it's going to raise everybody's stock. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just
Right. I mean, reps are reps. You could wrestle 10 times, but if you're wrestling 10 times and you're doing the same bad habits and no one's telling you, hey, this is bad, or you should do it this way, or blah, 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 it doesn't have that WWE secret sauce, like you said, it's just going to make you worse. You know what I mean? Like, just because you wrestle 10 times doesn't automatically make it better.
right.
You know
So,
what
like,
I mean?
that's what we're trying to do. And, that's that. I realize we can't do a lineup like this all the time. Like, I got fucking crazy because J-Lit did so poorly. And, we need to draw every single person we possibly can for it to work at the Globe, just based on how it all works. So, like, this show is a fucking crazy lineup. And I realize that we can't do a lineup like this all the time. But, like, come enjoy it Friday. You know what I mean? Like, who knows what the fuck's gonna happen in 2026? There's all this doom and gloom talk, all this, there's no doom and gloom, everything's fucking great talk. Like, nobody fucking knows. You know what I mean? Like, it's the unknown. It's truly the unknown. You can't predict how the business is gonna go, because you can't predict how the economy is gonna go, and you can't predict how WWE and AEW fandom is gonna go. Like, there's so many different things that implicate, are people going to support independent wrestling? It's just like astronomical odds to be like, yeah, man, everything's going to fucking be great. So, like, come Friday, enjoy it, because I'm sure sooner or later we're not going to be able to have fucking 6-7 fly-in talents that are huge names. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it's like I said, it's quite the banger of a card. That match, like I said, Wes versus Tyler versus Alec versus Breeze, that's going to be a banger. Going forward, you mentioned Cosmic Cowboys, Shelby Wilder and Paul London taking on PME. I mean, you give Paul London knowledge to PME, guys like that you know what I mean? I mean, this is, and like you said, Shelby's been under the learning tree of Paul London. This is going to be a great match. We haven't seen Paul for a handful of shows. I love the Cosmic Cactus. He's a great guy. Excited to have some parking lot Paul time for sure.
Yeah, he's a guy that you could just talk to for fucking 4 hours. You know what I mean?
Paul's the guy that could wander off a Globe Iron over into that like plant across the street and just be wandering around checking shit out because he's just interested in everything.
Yeah, he just wants to know information.
Yeah.
Flying in on Thursday if you want him to come over for your Thanksgiving. But
I was going to say, should I bring him to my Thanksgiving dinner?
I don't think he lands till late. But yeah, I mean that's gonna be a great one. We have Krule coming in, making his Cleveland area debut, taking on Isaiah Broner. Isaiah Broner's been calling out the biggest and the baddest. Wanted some real competition. Saying he's, Josh Prohibition saying it. He's the only true heavyweight in the business, the last real man. Well, I've noted, everybody has been telling me to book Krule for a year plus, and
definitely a requested guy.
It finally worked out. We had talked about some other dates earlier this year that didn't line up, and this one lined up, and I thought, fucking hell on earth, what a perfect place to
yeah. That graphic, I mean, you look at that graphic, like you said, heavyweight match. Krule is just a cool looking motherfucker. Hell on earth with that name. Then him versus Broner with Prohibition in that background over his shoulder. Like, that is just a sick graphic. Like, that is super cool. I mean, like we said, the card just up and down is just full of bangers. If you don't have a ticket, get to AXS for Globe tickets, I believe, or is it Dice?
AXS for Globe.
AXS for Globe tickets. I'm sorry, I got to get that straight one of these days. I need to make a list.
Yeah, AXS for Globe tickets. Ringside is sold out. We only have general admission available. Buy them up, because when they're gone, they're gone. This is a venue that has a hard cap. So if you expect like, hey, I'm just gonna roll in there about 720. I don't know where we're at. I get the same information that everybody really gets. Is like, I look at the AXS, I look at the seating map, I see there's no seats on the seating map, and you can only click on that GA section. So that's how I know that there's only GA available. So let's sell those fucking GAs out. I mean, this show, you're not going to see a show like this, around here for sure. ever, probably. This has so much going on, and we got to pack it. You know what I mean? We need to continue to show our value at the Globe. Like there's not a lot of fucking venues left in this town.
Yeah.
So they love it when it's full. I'll say that. They don't love it when it's not full. So we got to fill it up. That's how it is. This is I've been saying it for weeks, but it is a call to action. We need everybody in that venue, as that can get in there on Friday. A lot of people are asking, is it standing? Is it seating? Sometimes there are sporadic first come first chairs in the venue, but it is implied to be standing, just to clarify. But that's how it is at every AIW show. If you've ever been to one, sometimes there's extra chairs beyond whatever row sold. In this case, I think it's the third row. Sometimes there's sometimes there's not. Sometimes there's an abundance of seating. Sometimes there's not.
Do you know what I honestly think got fans a little spoiled on the GA? It's those fucking bleachers at Tadmore. Yeah, the bleachers at Tadmore, it was very easy to just grab that GA seat and the GA ticket, and then you knew those bleachers would be somewhere on the bleachers. And I think fans might be a little in that mode still of like, guys, grab a GA, and then, oh shit, there's no bleachers to sit on.
Right.
But the Globe Iron is a great venue though for sightlines and stuff like that. I mean, it is a really cool club. If you haven't been there, it's a cool place. There's parking right behind the venue. It's a nice place for sure.
There is free street parking. There's paid lot parking all over down there. I would recommend the paid parking with the venue, just because I believe they have somebody out there. They have police officers.
Yeah, guy sits out there all night.
But yeah, park at your own risk. Uber. I always recommend an Uber, especially because we're going to go to Old 86 afterwards for an after party.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm very, very, very excited about this show. I'm very excited about the last three shows of the year. I really hope that we can end it strong. We're gonna. With Cultivate next month, we're gonna, hopefully kind of focus on the future, really, and kind of, fill some holes along development of students that have been, going to the school. There's going to be 3 debuts, one referee, so there's going to be 4 total brand new students coming out of the academy, and we have a lot of out-of-town talent traveling in that has not been in the area before.
Yeah, a lot of new names that you won't have heard of, or maybe heard of, or wanted to come here more than John Thorne wanted. I know Dom got a bunch of them on there, not unbeknownst, but to your gripe or whatever the word is.
There's
it's a lot of matches.
we've been whittling it down. I've whittled it down, but.
Well, I mean, I don't think all of them, Cultivate, I think, is going to be a show where you're probably not going to see 15 to 20 minute matches. You know what I mean? Maybe a lot of matches, but there may be, some shorter times and stuff like that. I mean, I think what you're doing.
Dominic Greeny had a 15-17 match card. So we've whittled it down a little bit, but
it's been whittled down.
There's a lot of fresh new talent coming in for Cultivate, not just out of the AW Academy. So it's very exciting. Very exciting.
Yeah. Speaking more of this card too, got plenty more on this card to talk about. We got Mikey Montgomery taking on the Slugger, Austin James. That's what I'm stoked for. Have these two ever? They've definitely never done one-on-one, have they? I think maybe pieces and parts and like some scrambles and some stuff like that, but I don't think ever one-on-one.
This is one where we need the fucking Wadsworth button, but I don't think so.
Yeah,
I know they've been.
I don't think it was one-on-one.
I know they've been in multi-persons and things like that. But I just think both of these guys are so incredibly underrated and talented. And, it's just kind of like I said, this is maybe the one kind of glaring difference from the rest of the card. But I think these guys know that and want to kind of go above and beyond, if you know what I mean.
To me personally, they're guy. I don't know how to explain it, but they're guys that have been on almost every AIW main card, like big show lately. And I think we got into a point in the card where we make up these cards and we throw stuff against the wall. We see where we're at. We have lists of names, and I think we got to a point where we had both of these names, and we were like, they kind of have to be on the show, but we weren't necessarily sure what to do. And I think we kind of landed on let's throw them up against each other.
Right, and I think it's just. Especially how the rest of the card shakes out. There's a lot of fucking major talent, spread throughout this card. I think that makes both of these guys in this match want to go. Like, it's such a motivator for them, to go out and because they're, in a sense, they're playing with house money when you look at the rest of the lineup, right? You know what I mean?
Right.
Somebody's coming to see Krule. Somebody's coming to see Santana. Somebody's coming to see Tommy Dreamer. Somebody is coming to maybe not get garbage thrown on them by Paul London, but, they are...
I forgot about that.
They are like...
He's not doing that at a Globe. Fuck.
They are like... in a they're in a great position as performers because like there may be people that have never been to AIW before in that crowd that are just coming to see so and like I think that they want to go out there and just fucking go balls to the wall for 10 minutes or whatever it is, and I think that's
both shown us they can too, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, we've internally, Slugger is one of the most, valued assets in the company because he almost always can deliver. I know the fans don't necessarily see it like with the same lens as maybe people that work internally with the company and really analyze this shit. But I mean, he always fucking delivers, and he's always solid, and he's always just a precise good worker, and so is Mikey. You know what I mean? Mikey's been in there with everyone and anybody, and always does well. And that's the thing with both of these guys internally. We have them in this category that they can always give you a good match on a show. To a solid match on a show. Mikey is capable of giving you a great match on the show. I think Slugger, needs to just take that next step to get to that, can give you a great match on the show kind of category, label, whatever you want to call it. But like, he always delivers. And, I think this situation with these kind of stakes with, like I said, they're kind of playing with house money going out there. I think that these guys are going to fucking go out there and deliver a great match. I mean, that's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm betting on. I hope they can do it, but I think they're both super motivated.
Yeah, I would agree 100% at that. Going forward, a couple more on this card. A lot of some heavy hitters. Obviously going to finish, with the main event of the night. But we got two other matches. I don't even know which one to say first. But you got Matthew Justice, the Lifer, taking on Tommy Dreamer. We got the Tommy Dreamer coming to AIW. Let's go.
Making a debut. This is a debut for Tommy Dreamer. Everyone assumed he's been in AIW before. There's been talks here and there, but has never actually, signed the dotted line to come in until this show. And, I thought that, again, you're just kind of looking at it, and this is just like, fuck it. Like, this is what people want to see. You know what I mean? Like, people want to see Matt Justice and Tommy Dreamer just go out there and fucking, give you a ECW level, brawl. I mean, what else do you need to say about it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, you were talking about how there's so many that could go on last, or so many that could be the finisher, main event. Yeah. This could easily be the main event. ECW, fucking this is gonna bang.
I know Dreamer's a little older now and all that
Who
stuff,
cares?
but like on paper, this is just what fucking a wrestling fan wants to see. You know what I mean? Like, that's it.
I mean, that's
it. Like, it is just like, fuck it. Like, let's let's do it. Unfortunately, Fonzie is unavailable on Friday. Hey, Daddy, I got a wrestling convention. They're giving me this much more money. I got to make my. I love AEW, but
gotta get that bag, Fonzie.
Okay, Fonzie. You know what I mean? Go for it.
Yeah.
That's
the best part about Fonzie, though, is he calls you and he genuinely feels bad that he can't do the show. Like, he wants to be here. Fonzie fucking loves AEW. He's genuinely upset that he can't be here for Justice First Dreamer. I mean, that he's upset about
absolutely. That. And so again, like, I don't think there's much to be said about this. Is like, I think this is just. I hope I'm right, and like, this looks good on paper, and this looks good on paper to fans, and it causes them to buy tickets. I mean, that's the point. You know what I mean? Like, that's it. And then
absolutely.
And then like. From there, you have Sam Holloway versus Mike Santana, which is, this is, a different level, I think, of on paper. This is what people want to see. You have Sam Holloway, who is a blue chip prospect, has been since he's debuted, and, he has gone on to be scouted in this WWE program, and he has a lot of upside potential. And then you have Mike Santana, who is a longtime veteran, and he bets on himself, goes to TNA, reinvents himself, wins the World Heavyweight Championship, has become, in the last year, one of the biggest names in all professional wrestling, has shown up on WWE programming on NXT. I'm sure is a highly, highly, sought after talent when he hits free agency from both major companies, but you would assume for sure a WWE prospect. You're not going to see this anywhere else. You know what I mean? You have two
absolutely
major wrestling prospects. Mike Santana is a bona fide wrestling star, but he is a prospect as far as going on to be a huge mainstream WWE star. You would have to think, right? And like, Sam Holloway is in the system. He is, has a ton of upside. You have to understand the stakes, I think, here, as far as what you could be missing as a fan, because all those fans, they show up, they go, man, Kevin Steen was in AIW, or Johnny Gargano used to be here. You know what I mean? Like,
that's kind of what I was going to say. We mentioned a bunch of names earlier from these Hell on Earth shows. This could be the opportunity for that very situation in a few years from now.
You just never know where these guys are going, but like, both of them are on a trajectory right now, which would lead you to believe that they are going to be major players within pro wrestling. I mean, Mike Santana already is. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying I'm not trying to discredit that at all. I'm just saying he has so much more unrealized potential that it seems like it's like bubbling up, and it is about to burst. Like, this guy is on his fucking way, it seems. And like, Sam Holloway wants that. Sam Holloway, he's in the system. He's not at that level. Super hungry, super known in AIW. But this guy wants to be known in TNA. This guy wants to be known in WWE. This guy wants to be known everywhere, So, huge fucking test for him. But like, you have to look at this as a wrestling fan, and I don't even fucking, know if any outsiders listen to this podcast anymore, if it's just our loyal, like, fan base at this point. But tell your fucking friends that are casual wrestling fans, like, you don't know what you are potentially going to miss if you miss this match on Friday night. Like, you just, the potential for them to be major fucking big time stars in wrestling, as far as people consider WWE major stars. These guys are fucking there. They are on that trajectory. You gotta come out and, like, Mike Santana's going to be doing a meet and greet. That's another thing. They're all doing meet and greets, right? Like, Mike Santana's doing a meet and greet. Tommy Dreamer's doing a meet and greet. Tyler Breeze is doing a meet and greet. I'm sure Krule is going to be out there doing a meet and greet. You know what I mean? Like, then all the other people on the show are going to be out there selling merch, meeting and greeting with people. Like, you have such an opportunity to come and meet so many fucking huge stars this Friday night. It's just like, it's hard to put into words. And like, the only thing that I can say is, like, if you're listening to this podcast, you plan on coming Friday, you fucking tell some people like what they are potentially missing out on Friday.
Yeah, wrestling is one of the very few things, music is another one. You can watch a band, say at the Grog Shop one year, and then 2 years later you're seeing them, in this big ass, 4,000 cap room. Wrestling is one of the last few things as well, where it's like you could watch this guy wrestle in a 400 cap building, or how many ever Globe, 600, let's say 600. The next time you could see Santana wrestling could be in front of 10,000 people, you know what I mean? Like, that jump that it could take from what you can see tonight, or on Black Friday, to the next time you could see this person, like you're saying, it's quite an infinite jump. It's a pretty big leap, and you want to get it on the ground floor. I think that's why people like wrestling. You can meet and greet these people. You can, it's not like you're going to go to a college basketball game and be like, hey, a college prospect guy that's going to be huge in the NBA next year, let me have 5 minutes of your time for an autograph. And that shit doesn't exist. You know what I mean? So
right. Yeah, I mean, you just never know, and it's just like, this show has so much fucking potential. It's just like, it's such like a overused word, but like, man, like the potential and the talent that is collectively on this show Friday, you can get in, for like $25 after fees or something like that, like, come on, like you need to get out. You need to come out Friday night and support the show. And, to top it all off, we're ending the night with, a casket match with, if you're following AEW for the last, year, this has been the feud. You know what I mean? These guys fucking killed it at Absolution in July, coming back to the same venue. And, we're going to put a stamp on it in a casket match here this Friday night. Eric Taylor getting his rematch from after losing at Absolution in July against Chuck Stone. In that casket match, headlined Hell on Earth 1, headlines Hell on Earth 20. I mean, the stories within the stories that we're trying to put together here. We need everybody to come out Friday night and support it.
Yeah, I mean, that match is another reason alone. There's so many, you could pick one thing on all, you go through that one thing alone could be the reason you should show up. But then there's just there's just a long ass list of them. But yeah, casket match. I mean, when was the last time you even did a casket match in AIW? It's a while for sure. But these two, have been down a road of, just seen some wild shit go down with these two and the story that has been told. The promo that Chuck just went to Eric's house and almost fucking drowned him in his hot tub, so, I mean, shit is getting serious. You definitely want to come out Black Friday. What else could you be doing? I'm sure if you're in town, there's got to be people in town, visiting their family, take some time from hanging with your family and come hang out with your wrestling family. Bring your family. Yeah, right.
Bring your grandma.
Yeah, dude.
Bring your drunk uncle.
Hell yeah.
Bring them. Fuck it. They got a bar.
Yeah. Like we said, great place, great bar, ton of selection there, good prices on drinks. They have parking, free parking around on the streets. They have paid parking that's like patrolled by a guy. So it's nice and safe parking. What else more can you ask for? We're going to Old 86 for the after party. Great time. We always have fun there.
2-minute Uber or something like that.
Literally around the corner. Pants and on the gang will be all there. It's gonna be a great time.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I hope that we can get the people out there, pack it, have a great night, and ride that momentum into Cultivate, and then close the year out in Akron with Nick Nemeth at the Royal Palace. We got a lot. We got a lot coming. We have a lot to be excited about, a lot to look forward to. We want to keep the momentum going into 2026 and and hopefully beyond. Like if you're a wrestling fan, you're seeing independent wrestling companies are closing for various reasons, left and right. It seems over the last couple months. We've been doing this for 20 years. We're trying to keep it rolling as long as possible, and the only way we can do that is if you come out and support us Friday night. Tickets, ticket sales are what make independent wrestling go round. Like the retweeting and the sharing and all that stuff helps, but like the money is what makes it happen. Like we can't pay performers if we don't have ticket sales coming in. It's just like it's as simple as that. And that goes for any company. They need people to buy tickets so they can pay the performers. That like at this point, it's pretty much a live event business. Like the people going for free on YouTube, they're doing that in hopes that people are going to come to a live show at some point and buy a ticket. Like that's the only reason people are giving things away for free right now, is because they want people to come eventually, maybe one day, buy a ticket. Same concept applies here. We want you to buy a ticket. I just don't want to give the show away for free because I think it prevents people from buying tickets. But that's my philosophy.
I mean, there's no better time than an AIW show. You got to come out. I've been coming. We talked about this earlier. I've been coming. People have been coming far longer than me, but man, it's a great time. It's nowhere I'd rather be. Come on out. Black Friday. It's a tradition at this point. You know what I'm saying?
Since 2008 or something like that?
Something like that. Yeah, I closed out a cage match, but a couple questions. Joe,
I know we had some from like a podcast that we never did, so you might want to scroll up.
His question real quick before we get to that. Any updates on the AIW documentary, and then any info on meet and greets, like pricing wise at all? Do you know?
The AIW documentary, I know we talked about maybe they were going to do something at the Capitol Theater. That is off. That didn't come together. They are trying to shop it to like festivals and different distributors and things like that. They're trying to get it on the festival circuit. So they cannot say like, hey, this film is premiering here, so that kind of kiboshed the Capitol Theater thing that we had talked about a few months ago. So they're still just kind of figuring it out. I know that there's a cut done. I've not seen it. They, are potentially going to have like a private screening for some of us to see it for the first time. But other than that, like I have not seen it yet. I know it's done, at least, before they get my notes, but after I see it, but it's done as far as I know. And they, they're shopping it around. I know it's a hard thing to shop when it's based on an independent. It's not Stone Cold Steve Austin is not starring in this thing. So like they are doing things that I'm not even, pretending to understand, as far as, taking meetings and submitting it to festivals and things like that. That's all I really know about it. And I know that they do plan to have like a little private thing for people that are featured in it, which will be when I see it for the first time. And then I think we'll know more, but, yeah, that's all I really know about it. I know there's a trailer out. I had a meeting with them a few weeks ago. I went to their offices, and they have a poster and different things. And want to talk about just like what a legit place that is. It's just like it's a full fucking movie studio in there. It's crazy. These giant. It's like shit you see like on a TV show or a movie about making movies, you know what I mean? Like there's just giant fucking
full
screens,
like
sound stages and shit in there. There was like a set, for a upcoming horror movie with Topher Grace was in there. Like it was crazy. So I mean, they're the real deal. You just gotta trust them to do, whatever whatever the process is. You know what I mean? I know it's, and I know, Adam, who worked on it, and Ryan, it is a passion project for both of them, so they want to see it be successful. So I'm just going to sit back and let them do their thing.
Hell yeah. As far as price,
I am not sure. A lot of these guys are setting their own prices, so I would just say bring cash. I would say bring cash for sure. If you've done a meet and greet before, I would imagine everybody pretty much keeps it all in the average range. But I don't have the exact information on anybody as of this recording, because a lot of the guys are, like I said, are doing it themselves. So, but I would guess between $20 and $50. That's usually like a safe range.
Yeah. Okay. Dustin wants to know if he can have a raise. I don't know if you saw that one.
Dustin? Alberti?
Yeah. He wants a raise. Got another Disney vacation next year.
This guy's been on vacation for 2 weeks. What's he doing?
He was gone for a while.
He wants a raise for me. I want to know what he's doing for work that he's on a vacation so long.
Who can afford to go to Disney anyways?
He went to the fucking Coachella version Warped Tour. He went to that. Then he went to Disney multiple times. Then he's just in the mountains. Did you see that? He was just he's like, I'm in the mountains, fucking.
He was in a cabin.
I'm in a cabin watching movies in the mountains. I'm just like, don't you fucking work?
I'm jealous. Yeah, right. Fucking God.
A raise from me. It sounds like you got a good raise from wherever your fucking real job is. I'll tell you that.
Oh shit. Well, yeah, that's probably going to do it. I scrolled up pretty far. There's a lot of conversation in there. I don't really see anything as far as that's relevant to this point in time.
I just remember Scott.
But anything you want to say before we get out of here? I know we got, like you said, we got Cultivate coming up. We have the December 27th. We got Nick Nemeth, formerly known as Dolph Ziggler, coming in. It's going to be quite a show. I'm very stoked for that show. There's more announcements coming soon for that one. Buy a general admission ticket. If you're listening to this and you haven't purchased a ticket yet, we ran down the card. It's a ridiculous names on the card. Bring a friend. Come on out. Have a beverage. What do you think? Anything else?
Yeah, please just buy a ticket Friday. We want to pack that place. I mean, seriously.
Very important. Very important. When was the last time you can say you saw a live casket match? I mean, come on out. Plenty of debuts. Tommy Dreamer in the house, dude. Santana making his return after 9 years away. I mean, there's a lot to see on this card. All right, well, if that's it, that'll do it for us this week. For myself, for John Thorne, for everybody at AIW, we'll see you this Black Friday at Hell on Earth 20. See ya.